decided to go down the path of physical therapy and ended up recognizing that in order to get insurance money, you have to follow horrible insurance protocol. Scrap that. Ended up going to every soft tissue course I could take, and over 18 years or so of the personal training, along with all these different therapies and the education, I had the privilege to pour all of this into personal training clients, of which I would keep for 10 years because they would never be injured. So what happened, what was next? So what happened, I started getting so many referrals for the therapy side of it over the personal training side of it, that 3 years ago I just decided to scrap the personal training and dive really deep into what I'm doing now, and now is phenomenal.
So tell us a little bit about your techniques and what you use, and because I know I've seen your work and you use a lot of different things. So
I do. I use trigger point therapy, scraping, cupping, anything holistic that I can use, stretching, and I will tie all of them together depending on what is going on with the patient at the time. And sometimes it's one therapy, sometimes it's two therapies, sometimes it looks like triage in my office.
right,
Yeah.
right. So what do you think the physiology is behind what you do and how it helps people? Like when you're releasing the fascia and the tendons and the ligaments, what does that do for people?
So fascia will decrease strength and range of motion, and it'll also decrease blood flow and oxygen. And therefore, with those two combined, you get pain and increasing pain over time. And if they aren't addressed and move through the body, it just gets worse and worse and worse until you get somebody like me or somebody to help.
Can you comment on maybe how that affects the lymphatic system? And do you guys know what the lymphatic system is?
No.
No?
I do now.
So we have arterial blood, which comes from the heart, goes to the foot, and all the organs. We have venous blood that comes back to the heart. In between that exchange, some of the fluid leaks out, which is called lymph. And lymph carries a bunch of toxins and everything else that the body excretes. But there's lymph channels that then go back up into the heart. When you're malaligned or you have fascial problems, any problems in the body, we call them blockages, that lymphatic system can be obstructed, and that can lead to an accumulation of a lot of problems in the body. So,
for me, basically, with what I do, fascia will just tighten up around areas that it feels it needs to protect. And so it'll compress nerves, it'll compress internal organs, it'll compress veins, fascia can lock down to about 2,000 pounds per square inch, so it can damage internal organs if it's not corrected.
that's impressive.
That is impressive.
Yeah. So, speaking of that, why don't we talk about your work that you've done with Celeste here?
Celeste is amazing, and we've been working together for 6 months? Since March. Amazing success, and so what I'm going to let you do is I'm going to let Celeste share this story. Amazing. Celeste and David both have incredible stories. Mostly they help me help them, right? Like they don't just come into my office and then do nothing between each visit. They actually are doing these therapies. The therapies that I do, I teach every single one of them. They're so easy. If you look at the table, if you look on my table and see the tools that I have, it's not a $75,000 machine. It's a $10 therapy bowl, which is amazing, right? And so when we're teaching this, I want to empower every one of you to know how to do this and how to get yourself out of pain, right? Pain sucks. Pain is part of this system that tells you that you have something to fix. And what we know for sure is the body's designed to heal itself, right? You break an arm, it's going to heal. It may not heal properly without Jason, right? But it's going to heal. And it's just one more way your body's telling you have to change something and fix something. And as soon as you fix it, it goes away. Yeah. So anyway, here's Celeste.
First of all, I want to say thank you. I don't look back in life and think about the pain and the suffering, because that's not who I am. I was raised to never give in, never give up, and to give it all you got. And on the drive over here this evening, I sent my husband a message. Of course, I was at a stop sign. And I said I'm on my way to a wellness event, and Dean's asked me if I'd share a few words. He said, tell him I said, thank you. How many of you were athletes as a child? A few of you, yes. How many of you have ever had a surgery? Stand up. You had a surgery.
Any kind of surgery?
Any kind of surgery, gone in for surgery, okay? So more than half of the room has gone in for surgery. If it was successful, I'd like you to sit down. If it actually solved the problem, I'd like you to sit down if it actually solved the problem. Okay, thank you, you may be seated. I've had 4 knee replacements on the same knee, my left knee. I will be 55 years old this year. And after my first surgery in 2012, my tibia came loose. I was an athlete, had been, started playing sports 5, 6, and 7 years old, loved it. Was an athlete scholar for about 6 years. I'd been shot up with cortisone by one doctor after another. I then turned to coaching softball and volleyball and basketball. It got really tough, but because of the cortisone shots, I actually had my first surgery because the bone chipped in my ankle from the cortisone shots, which then affected my knees. Second surgery, my heel came loose. So in 2014, my mom's pushing me in a wheelchair. 2016, I went in for my 3rd knee replacement. I said, all right, Lord, you've got quite a sense of humor. Who is it that I need to reach this time, and please make it really clear. I truly believe that all things work together for good. I've clung my whole life to Philippians 4:13 that says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And in 2018, when I had my last knee replacement on the same knee, which when I went into that surgery, they said, you may come out with a new knee, you may come out without one. I was told, typically you can have 2 knee replacements. Something I would never wish on anybody. And when I went in for the 4th knee replacement, I had gone to several doctors to get their input on what we should do and what was done wrong on each of the prior surgeries. And my doctor went to his board of directors and asked the same questions. And we came back and our information was almost identical of what they needed to do. And so we went in and I came out of the surgery. Who's had a knee replacement surgery? Outpatient surgery, anybody know? But they do outpatient now for those. Crazy. Gotta get you home. And they didn't send me home, not after 1 day, not after 2 days, not after 3 days. I couldn't feel my leg from the knee down. I had no feeling. Matter of fact, as I recovered from that surgery, I learned to walk like this. Anybody old enough to know what a weeble wobble is and doesn't fall down? So my foot was dead from the knee down. I had no feeling in my foot. This is a girl that had been playing sports since she was 5 years old and coaching. And I was told I needed to give up coaching softball, something I was very passionate about. It was my life. I took a video and I sent it to my daughter. She was in her first year of college playing softball. And I said, I just want this for the record. This left foot is going to remember what to do. It's going to mimic this right foot. It's going to learn it. We don't forget, muscle memory is in there. And I said, don't laugh at me. Save this video. She came home that summer and she walked in my room and I'm talking to my foot. I know you see what he's doing. I know you can do this. I believe in you. Come on. Big time. I'm all about positive mindset. We're going to fast forward to January. Amazing woman who I have such respect for Diane Hoffman came to me and said, have you seen Dean Dexter? No. I haven't. Celeste, you need to get there. You need to get into his office. He's a fascia movement specialist. I'd never heard of the word fascia in my life. Within a day or two after that, another amazing woman that I have such respect for, Tracy Williams from A Loving Way to Parents, said, Celeste, have you seen Dean Dexter? He's working with my daughter's foot. You wouldn't believe what he's doing for her. I said, no, Tracy, I'll have to figure out how to get to see him. Another day went by, and Violet Bowman came to me and said, Celeste, have you seen Dean Dexter? Did I mention I'm a little stubborn? And the Lord does speak to me in threes. And I said, no, but can I have his number? And I started seeing Dean. And one of the first things he said to me when I walked into his office is, I want you to know that there's hope. And I laid there and I thought, boy, that's different than what the last knee replacement doctor said. See, in December, I had gone to a couple other surgeons saying, I'm hurting so bad, I need help. And I know they said there was nothing else they can do. And what he said to me is, any doctor would be a fool to touch you. You're just gonna have to learn to live with it. Words nobody wants to hear. Learn to live with it? The pain was horrific. I couldn't walk. I'd been fitted for a prosthetic, which was trying to teach my foot how to have the muscle memory of how to, heel toe and push. And it really wasn't working. And so I saw Dean twice a week for several months. And after the first 30 days, my husband said, when's your next appointment? You're taking me, I want to meet this man. My husband came in there and Dean pulled up every link so Roger could order everything to have at home. You see, he's not the kind of guy that wants you to keep coming back forever. It's that prescription that you're gonna have to take forever that creates other side effects. And Dean would say to me, you're gonna catch again. I said, catch again? I wanna pitch. If I can catch again, I just wanna pitch again. He says, you're gonna do it. He said, you're gonna get over this. And he was right. And I'm ever so grateful. My twice a week appointments turned into every other week. And it's been quite miraculous. Who has a purpose in life? Who has a mission? Yeah, you better raise your hand if you're not raising your hand. You have a purpose. And I have an amazing friend who's here from Our Valley Magazine, and she put my story in print because never give in, never give up should be what you believe every day when you wake up. And I had the privilege to co-author a book this year, and it's called How to Move from Frazzled to Fabulous. And because of this man, he has helped me to once again get myself off the floor and become fabulous. 2 years ago, I couldn't even get off the floor. Matter of fact, I started working out with a trainer 3 weeks ago with an amazing friend in the room. And the trainer reached his hand out and said, let me help you up. And I said, thank you, but I don't need help today. You have no idea. No idea, because of this gentleman right here next to me. I'm now riding twice a week in a cycle class, 10 miles in a cycle class. Wow. He said, you need to start riding cycle. I said, are you kidding me? He said, just listen to your body. All the years as an athlete, I was told, just suck it up and get back in the game. And we program ourselves. We were given, pain is a signal. Something's wrong, something's out of balance. And Dean has taught me heel toe. And I'm in Michigan in the month of September with my daughter. And I said, I've got to regret. I never taught you heel toe. She said, Mom, you couldn't have taught me everything. I had to learn something on my own. I said, well, there's one thing you remember. Will you please remember heel toe? I said, tell your brother too. I'll tell you, I've learned so much from being in his office. And I want to read something. I've learned that people will forget what you've said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Maya Angelou, I will never forget how you made me feel and what you've done for my family. I'm going to tell you something. There is no greater gift than becoming a Nana, and I just did in the last month. And because of this man, I'm not only going to be able to catch again and pitch again, but I get to play with my grandson and teach him how to swing a bat, run the bases, because of an amazing fashion movement specialist who has been a miracle worker in our family.
I think we're gonna take a break. I got swept away in your story and so much of your stuff, even though our stories are different, really hit home with me. My name's Dave. I'm an entrepreneur. I was blessed to start a business that just went off the scales. And success is a double-edged sword, and I neglected myself. I had a very active lifestyle. Stress set in. I wasn't in an optimal place, but I never had an injury like what I was about to experience. Unfortunately, not many people have even heard of or been through what I experience on a daily basis. So I deal with another side of things in that I don't have a specific operation or anything that I hope, like there's really nothing that can be done for what I have, and I'll share that with you. I have a post-traumatic syrinx, or the disease as a result of that is called syringomelia. So if you're ever interested in a really rare condition, you can look it up. That's not why I'm here. That has put me in a state where I have to maintain myself. I'm compromised right here. It's a cerebral fluid deposit in my spinal cord, and it won't go away. They can't drain it. They can't put a shunt in it. There was a hidden ledge in a foam pit at a trampoline park, and I caught my elbow sideways, bent this way, and my rib went up, punched my spinal cord. So I have a bruise in my spinal cord, and when you put up the very first one, at the bottom, the parasympathetic chain that Dr. Chiriano was referring to, my injury is right in that area. And so I not only was affected on a physical level, it changed me as a person, and as a dad, that was hard. That was really, really hard. Sorry, when you said that you became a man, I'm like, that's huge. I sat in the best care that I could have. I had platinum health care. I went to neurologist after neurologist, pain specialist. One pain specialist told me that he basically, apparently because my own hair, tattoos, whatever, thought I was after opiates. I have jars of opiates at home. I don't touch them. Can't stand them. I was looking for relief, and he'd never heard of what I had, and so we just kind of brushed it off. There's more to the story, but real quick, fast forward, I've never had that experience with Dean. If he doesn't know about it, he'll figure out a solution. He's on that journey with you. So I had exhausted my health care. I had gotten from about 200 pounds, mild build, able to do whatever I wanted, pretty strong for my size. I got down to about 128 pounds. I could eat a granola bar and a Gatorade each day. The sugar was all I could digest, and I would throw up anything else, even water in the morning. I was miserable. I'll show you. I was laying at a campground by the bay down in San Diego, and I had my head laying out in my toy hauler overlooking Mission Bay. Anyone else would want to be there? Brand new toy hauler, brand new diesel, beautiful kids overlooking the bay. I didn't want to call 911 because this is normal for me. I didn't want to wake up my family. I could barely breathe. I was short breathing when I met him. Like, to here is where I can breathe. So if you feel like you're going to yawn and somebody puts their finger in your mouth and messes with you, I constantly had that state of anxiety. I led my head out the door just trying to take a deep breath, and I just knew, like, this can't continue. All my blessings have become bars on a jail cell where I can't even enjoy the things around me. I don't look like there's something wrong with me other than I've lost weight, so now people think I'm like on drugs or something. I was in a really, really bad place, and a mutual friend, told me I need to go see Dean. And to be honest with you, when he said it, he said he's a physical therapist, nothing against physical therapists. I'd had my experience, and if the guy hadn't been such a this forceful person and how much he cared about me and a friend and got me to go see Dean, I wouldn't have gone, because I'd been through everything. Chiropractic care twice a week, massage therapy twice a week, ozone, gas injections, combined with trigger point manipulation and a B vitamin, all in one. I'd go to get that. Thai massage, I mean, anything I could get that I was doing, acupuncture. This was all like once, twice a week. It was a full-time job. Robbed from my company, it changed everything. When I went and saw Dean, I learned why all those things weren't working. And he gave me an education that I couldn't have paid for. I'm thankful that able to help a lot of people around me. In learning how he releases fascia led by a pain response, you know, I'd go to a massage therapist and it hurt and pain is gain. And I didn't understand what was going on with the body until I went on this journey. you have the ability to heal yourself. And everybody in here keeps talking about that. And everybody has their own thing that they're bringing to the equation, and they all have different things that they can modalities that they can apply. I felt like a puzzle piece going into Western medicine that was trying to have something to each piece to fix it, but no one was taking the whole gamut and trying to help me. And that's what I found with Dean. If I were to go get acupuncture and all these different things, I can do only so many of those, and they get coded to an insurance company and they have to pay them back. I never would have gotten where I'm at in Western medicine. It just wouldn't have happened because they can only charge one code per visit. I can't go get the acupuncture, or not acupuncture, that's one thing he doesn't do. But I can't go get the suction cups that he has. They're like little minions, and they cry when I go to sleep. They're really cool the way they do. I couldn't go get that and have scraping all done in one time. And he actually will get in there and manually release the fascia in a way that doesn't hurt. Before, I would be sore for so long afterwards, and I was just fighting through constant pain. But the problem is, your body will not reveal what needs to be fixed until you get through its defense system. And I was so locked down, which is why I couldn't breathe, I couldn't eat, I was in constant rest, I couldn't be in rest and digest, I was in fight or flight mode. I was going to a naturopath that was scanning me with infrared, just to calm me down so I wasn't so irritable all the time. I was going twice a week when I first met him. I still gladly drive up here. I live in Oceanside, if that tells you anything. I still gladly drive up here once a week and see him. At one point, he had shared me a while back that he might be moving. Thank God for anybody around here, he's not planning on moving. But my thought was, cool, where are we moving? So if you're lucky enough to see this man before he becomes wildly famous for what he's doing and how he's healing people, I would strongly recommend you go see Dean at Profit Therapy. I'm helping my mom. My daughter, before I came up here, said, tell them that your family's what got you through this. And I was so proud of her. But she's right, because I've been able to teach her how to actually help Daddy, and she loves it, and she's a part of it. There are tools that you have access here that are amazing, and I'm not at all talking down these new technologies I've never heard of that are incredible, and I'd love to learn more about them and meet you guys. It all's for the common good, but Dean showed me what the puzzle is supposed to look like. Right? So now I know what the end goal is supposed to look like. And there's pain I deal with. I still deal with nausea and chronic pain. It's like a boat that's listing for me. I'm compromised my shear point, so I have to maintain everything and keep it loose, or it just will lock down. Because of that, I have to maintain every part of my body depending on which one's screaming the most. This works. What he does works. The way that he implements it, the education that he gives you so you can do it at home. Learning to be led by your pain response so that your body will reveal the real issue rather than triggering a pain response and you're knotting up. I mean, these are all things that I had to learn, and I'll give it back to you, but I could go on and on about this stuff. It's actually kind of become a passion. I work with hard parts, and I'm fascinated by this now because the body is very much a capable machine, and it's just releasing it to do what it was intended to do. Yeah.
Super powerful testimonials.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So can I add to that?
Absolutely.
Before I fall apart, I love both of you. And they talk about me and I'm the one that's doing this. The fact is that the education that I'm able to share and teach is where my heart and my goal is. I want to be able to teach you so that you can teach your family, so that your family can know. We've been conditioned right out of connecting with ourselves to go symptom treat, right? And we know what happens with that. Nothing. It's just more injuries. You know what I mean? And so, in the past 5 months or so, we've been really focused on getting out into the community, and really I want to get out into any person I can touch, any person I can educate, and it's not about the money for me, right? Sure, we all have to make a living. I do want to drive a Ferrari, but still. It's true.
He's like,
Yeah, but ultimately,
Why are you aiming so low? Bugattis.
no, that was just one of the fleet. No, but the reality is Dave is on a mission with me. Everybody, Celeste is on. We're on a mission to educate and help people realize how they can heal themselves. Like that's it. All these tools work. I can tell you right now, and I'm not putting any one of them down. Every therapy tool, every therapy method has holes. Period. Which is why you have to find somebody who can help you, lead you, teach you different modalities to get where you need to be. And not every time you're treated, you need the same modalities. So, like I said, sometimes it's a triage in my office, and sometimes we're just hugging.
So Dean, is there any treatment that you could give to the audience here that they could take home with them tonight that's super easy?
Yeah, Dave, stand up. I love you, brother.
There's a power button. So,
I haven't got that. I'm the triage one, oh my.